Doctors say he's still not ready to leave hospital. Now, the adoption process in England is to be made swifter and more effective under plans unveiled by the government. More information and support will be offered to prospective adoptive parents, including the right to take time off work to meet children before they move in. Luke Walton reports.
The government wants more children to be adopted rather than go into care, and recent figures show numbers are going up. But ministers admit prospective parents can still find the adoption procedure tortuous and isolating. So they're announcing measures which they say will make the process more welcoming and supportive. Adopters will, for the first time, be given access to a nationwide database containing details of children available for adoption. They'll have the right to take time off work to meet children they're considering. 2-year-old adopted children will get 15 hours of free nursery education a week. And the government announced earlier in the year that adopters will get the same right to paid leave as biological parents.
It will give confidence to anyone who wants to come forward to adopt, is thinking about adopting, that we're on their side. We want to help them go through that process, and if it's right for them and it's right for the child, that match is made as soon as possible, so that child can get that permanent family, that stable, loving home as soon as they can.
Charities who campaign on adoption welcome today's announcement. But they say some families face problems years after an adoption has taken place, and more long-term help is still needed. Luke Walton, BBC News.
Well, let's get more on this now from Francesca Polini, who's adopted 2 children, but was turned down here in the UK. Thanks very much indeed for coming in, Francesca. Just tell us about your experience with the adoption process.
We wanted to adopt a child here in the UK domestically, and we were actually denied the chance to even apply for any of the children available here in the UK because of our skin colour, so because we're white, and the children available in our borough at that time were not white, and the council had decided against interracial adoptions, which was of course ironic, because we were then approved to adopt 2 ethnically different children by the same council, but in Mexico. But in terms of what's happening today, obviously by breaking down the barriers between boroughs and being able to access a nationwide register, that would have been great, because you know, we would have been able to be matched with children from a different borough if the ones available weren't right for us.
Right for you. Okay. Yeah. What about this idea of sort of making the whole adoption process a little bit more attractive, less intimidating, and having prospective parents meet prospective adopted kids a little bit earlier in the whole process?
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of in 2 minds about that. In terms of the adoption overall being made swifter and quicker in the interest of the child, absolutely in favour of the ethos around that, because the sooner children are placed with their new forever families, the better. The quicker they can form bonds and attachment with their new families. Whether it should be up to us parents making that choice and actually accessing data and details on children on the adoption register, I'm not so sure, because it kind of seems to turn it into a bit of a shopping experience. So meeting the children, fine, but I still think the role of matching needs to stay with social services, who are the best placed at helping and supporting children and parents to make that decision.
And the suggestion has been today that help and support has got to go on for many years, because you know some parents who've adopted children have problems way down the line.
Exactly, and again, post-adoption support is actually very, very weak at the moment. So the idea of offering parents and obviously children first actually, and then parents, support after the adoption process, especially for all the children who have been abused or neglected in their biological families and then shunted around the system, is absolutely vital. I do have some worries, however, because we have been hearing this from the government for a long time. It's over 2 years now that the ethos of the new guidelines introduced, whether they're about interracial activity, interracial matching, whether it's about supported parents or families, but what we are seeing is still the same, but actually what we're seeing is that talk actually being translated it into action. We're really not seeing that, and the trend on adoption is still a downward trend, and 20,000 parents, over 20,000 parents were turned down last year to adopt children. So if we try and make them come forward, but we don't offer the system and the framework that they're hoping to have, then I think the effect that it's going to have on them is actually even more negative than before. So I think we need to, the government needs to give a bit more of a push into the action than the words.
Sure, indeed. Okay, Francesca Polini, thanks very much indeed for coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.